Welcome to episode 217 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Yep, I'm back.
And Matt Bowden.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, what a stupid week this has been.
It's a week.
The planets have aligned. Everything is back to normal. There's 3 full chairs on the podcast.
It's nice. It's nice. It's good to be back.
It's weird without you.
I need to at least apologize and explain to everyone. I fully intended to do a Life of Black Tiger stream last Saturday for Heroes for Hard Times. Unfortunately, I had a death in the family at 8:30 that morning. So, for obvious reasons, I was not able to. I'm still going to. I don't know when yet. Still working out details of everything else. So, but it is still a go. Keep an eye on Twitter. Keep an eye on the podcast, Facebook, however, and we'll be sure to let you know when.
Cool. I can't wait. I'm really excited about that.
And then I was out of power for 3 days.
Let's talk about the great power outage of 2017.
What is there to say? It was dark and cold.
It was long.
3 days.
It's rare anymore that someone goes that long without power.
That's true. However, you got to remember where I live. I'm nearly Canadian. I live up in the Buffalo area, literally on Lake Ontario in New York.
It's no excuse to live like a savage, though.
Right.
Well, up here, our thing is snowstorms, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard about the snowstorms.
Mm-hmm.
I understand them.
We get a lot of snow. What we are not prepared for, like if you guys just got, what happens down there when you guys get like, I don't know, if you guys got 36 inches dumped on you in a 10-hour period, what would happen?
Power would go out for 10 minutes.
Whatever.
A brownout, they call it.
I've had, I lived there. I remember it would be a nice, beautiful, gorgeous summer day, and the power would go out for 6 hours for no fucking reason.
No, that doesn't happen.
Sometimes some idiot runs into the transformer box
for no reason at all.
To think about the last time I had a significant power outage was 3 hours, and before that I can't remember one that was more than an hour.
Most times they're convenient, though. They're in the middle of the day while I'm at work, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Now, I will
3
say,
days.
in the case of snow, they do shut the city down for, like, the threat of it.
They shut the city down, but they don't shut the power down.
This is true.
They didn't shut the power down here either.
Sounds like they did for 3 days.
No, Mother Nature is a bipolar bitch, is what happened.
Why wouldn't you guys be prepared for it? You know it's fucking coming.
This is true.
You do not know that hurricane-style winds are coming.
If you did your homework, you would.
If you got a decent meteorologist on your news channel, you'd know.
If you had Leland Statham up there.
To be fair, many people did have generators and such. I am not one of them because.
Oh yeah, that's what you need is a good genie.
Yeah. But then when I went to buy one, they were all gone.
Of course,
of course. All the people who planned got one.
Mm-hmm. I never said I was a planner. But let me tell you.
I mean, I get it. I'm not either.
We had sustained winds of 92 miles an hour up here.
That sounds crazy.
It tipped. There was a train moving on the tracks, and it blew the train over.
That's fucking insane.
That's the kind of wind we had here.
That is pretty fucking insane.
So anyway, obviously there's trees down all over the place, falling on power lines. That's why the power was out. Those repairs came into place.
You guys got to go underground with the power.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably something they're going to do. But I don't know. You got to remember, it's not something that's normally an issue.
Yeah.
But the one time it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, the one time it is, I wish I had a generator too. Other than that, this $800 sure didn't seem worth it.
Generators are cool anyways, in case you just fucking want to get off the grid for a day or two.
Yeah. The real messed up part is that my house is like wired for a generator. All I have to do is plug it in.
Oh, and then it supplies the whole house?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
just go buy
you should
one.
have one hooked up year-round.
Yeah.
Well, we just bought the house in November. There's other stuff that we want done.
The second thing
the
you should have bought right after that house. Fucking Jenny.
If it was a fucking brownout, I'd be out there firing that thing up.
Right. Or just a wild Saturday night. We're going to plug a lot of stuff in. You need some extra juice.
Yeah, you're afraid you might You might trip a breaker.
Yeah, you just go.
Go out there and pull start that bitch.
So anyway, we got power back on. We lost it Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, really early Wednesday morning, and got it back Friday night around 6.
What did you guys do? Just sit around telling stories by candlelight?
We still had data. Cell towers were still up.
No, yeah, that's not as good.
I would have
though.
gone to get a hotel room.
Listen to some yeah, so did everybody else did that too.
I told Matt that you were out of power, and the very first thing he said, I'd go to a hotel room.
I would. If the power,
Like his option was not to be in that house.
if the power was out and they're like, "Hey, it's not going to be on for a while," like, all right, let me call Red Roof in real quick.
No, the thing is I had it a lot better than most people. I have a gas fireplace in my bedroom, and I have a gas stove, so I could at least warm up water to wash myself with.
Yeah.
And it was.
I didn't even think about that. God damn.
And it was warm in the house, so they were warm in our bedroom, I should say.
You do like sponge bath.
Yeah, take a Jesus Christ style.
That's
bath,
kind of luxurious if you got somebody that'll wash you.
Which
I bet he did it himself.
I did do it.
You
myself.
poor piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm betting he did it himself.
That's safe bet, Ryan. Safe bet.
You should have jumped on Craigslist and just seen what was out there.
Who wants to wash me?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, in these trying times, I got $15 and a pickle for whoever will come over here for a sponge bath.
Yeah. Nicole.
WatchDan.com.
I'm sure Nicole would have loved that.
I mean, she's eligible.
But like, hey, this chick I've never met before is coming over to wash
Why's it
me
gotta
for
be a chick?
$15.
Yeah, get a
Get
guy.
a guy. Get a nice hairy dude with big warm hands. Let him wash you.
Or it's so dark in the house she won't even know what's happening anyway.
Okay.
Offer
Okay.
her the $15.
No, don't offer her the 15. It'll piss her off.
Yeah,
Well,
no
that's her
shit.
problem. I'd take $15. I don't know if I'd wash Dan for it, but if Ricky
bet
was
you
like,
would.
do something around the house for $15, like, hell yeah.
In the right situation, you'd wash me for $15.
I mean, if you're like dirty and dying, I'll probably take care of you, but that's about it.
She then pull the $15 out of your account and give it right back to you.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
And
stupid.
then you hand it back to her and ask her to deposit it. There'd be no point.
That's exactly how that would work. But
Right.
no, so the first thing I did was jump on and play Horizon for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Went to bed at like 2 o'clock.
Dude, you were on for a long ass time playing Horizon.
Well, I hadn't played in 3 days. Of course I was.
There had to be hundreds of things that needed to be taken care of in your house.
Right.
And Dan texted and was like, power's back on. And then 30 seconds later, he was on the PlayStation. I'm like, there's no way there's not stuff that needs to be done at your house that went with power for 3 days.
All that had to be worried about was the food in the refrigerator and the freezer.
Did you lose all the food?
A lot of it. A lot of it.
Yeah, that's maybe the worst part of the whole story.
Yeah.
Because food's expensive.
We lost a lot of it. Not mostly like the meat. I wasn't too concerned with because yes, it thawed, but it was still cold enough that it was 47 degrees in the actual house, so it was still cold enough to where nothing. It didn't get whatever they get, worms or whatever diseases they give you.
Worms.
Botulism.
What kind of meat are you eating?
Ebola, whatever. So that wasn't a concern. But like my wife has these frozen organic burrito things that she takes to work. Well, they were all thawed and mushy, and I was like, throw those fuckers out because they just don't feel right.
In fairness, I want every organic burrito to unthaw. Have to be thrown away.
Unthaw.
To unthaw.
Also known
and be
as to
tossed.
freeze.
No, I want it to not freeze.
Right, but to
and be
unthaw.
tossed.
To thaw
Unthaw.
is...
You want it to thaw. To unthaw is to
don't want
freeze
it to
it.
thaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want it to thaw and be thrown away because I hate everything organic.
All
Why?
right.
Because it's snobby and costs $2 more.
Everything is technically organic.
Yeah, but the things that feel like flashing it in your fucking
Right,
face.
the things with the labels on it, like no high fructose corn syrup.
I have some organic honey in my house right now.
So do I. My wife.
It's just fucking
As
honey.
long as you
Nicole
just
likes-
get the pure
It's
honey.
not just honey. It's organic.
Well, all honey is
Jesus
organic.
Christ. Yeah,
If you get the
it's
right
honey.
one without the additives and shit. But yes.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's
you can
just
just buy
flashy.
pure honey without the organic label on it too. You just gotta make sure you don't
we
get the one
buy
with corn syrup.
Well, yeah, but we buy local honey.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, but even local honey doesn't feel the need to be like organic.
that's
I got
true.
local honey too, and it doesn't have any bullshit on the label.
it is, but it is organic. Is the point?
Yeah, but it doesn't feel the need to shout it out. I
No.
don't like things that feel the need to scream it.
Okay, it's just a thing that's happening right now. People like organic food. They like the gluten-free food. whatever.
It's $4 more.
It is
Take
more
out a small
expensive.
business loan to buy
It's
some.
much more expensive. It is much more expensive to eat healthy.
That's why I don't.
I know. That's why I don't.
It is super. I was in Walmart and they had organic sunflower seeds.
That's stupid.
I was like,
what's the difference?
Nothing. They're like seasoned and everything. They're just fucking sunflower seeds.
I'm sure there is a difference.
But the top of the package, like as big as the name, it was organic. And I was like, okay.
Well, see, the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that has always been organic, but no one knew it because organic wasn't a thing. So all of a sudden, now they have to put organic on there so that people will buy their stuff.
Well, you also got the crybabies that think that if they eat anything other than organic, they'll die. What do you call it? The hypochondriacs. They're like, oh,
yeah.
I itch. I got to eat organic.
But the people
I'm
that
terrified. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just terrified that if I stop eating chemicals at this point, I might die.
You think they're what's keeping you alive?
Yeah, I think so.
See, the people
all the manufactured items that I eat, I think they're necessary.
Right.
The people that I don't like are those people that, like, and I've met these. I know some of these people, and there was a video on it on the internet somewhere a few years ago. But people who will only eat gluten free because they have a gluten allergy and they don't know what gluten is.
Yeah.
Right. I have a problem with people who are like, only eat free range hormone free. It's like, shut the fuck up and eat.
I can't
starve them.
Nothing drives me crazier than when I go to a restaurant and they tell me about their grass-fed beef. No shit, we've left places for that.
I just don't.
Why?
Because it's stupid. Grass-fed beef, like, I don't give a shit what the cow is eating, and anybody that says they can taste the difference in the meat based on what the cow is fed is a fucking liar.
The difference isn't in the taste. The difference is in the additives.
Who gives a shit? It's a cow. When you eat it, it's a cow. Who cares what they ate? When you eat it, it's a fucking cow.
There are people that do.
Everybody does care about what their grass-fed beef, but then they're feeding pigs like fucking handfuls of Skittles.
Yeah, like
fatten them up, kill them, and nobody gives a shit about them.
Because it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
pigs' lives matter too.
What's really cool about additives in food for cows and pigs and stuff like that is it makes them bigger and you can feed more people on one animal. So, like, I'm more into that. Like, feed more people from one animal.
See, I don't care either way. Just like I don't care what kind of ground beef I have, but my wife likes to lean ground beef.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm a prick about that.
About what?
I like really good ground beef too.
Yeah, I don't want to buy the cheap stuff that's going brown or anything like that, but like it's
like I'm an 80-20 ground chuck kind of guy.
That's all you'll eat?
If I go buy it, I'll eat anything.
It depends on what you need it for. Also, if
I see the package, I buy the good shit.
I buy the lean.
If you're making hamburgers, you buy 80-20 because you need the fat content. But if you're making if it's something that just has ground beef in it, like let's say that you're going to put ground beef in like stroganoff, right? You don't need the fat, so then you buy the lean. You buy the 90-10 or the 93-7. It depends on.
I don't put ground beef in stroganoff.
But if let's say you're making goulash, right? You're gonna put beef in it, and you don't want to have to drain the fat. You buy the lean stuff that'll crisp up. But if you're making burgers or anything that needs the fat, then you buy the 80-20 or the 70-30.
Well, I
like to pat out burgers until my hands are superhero hands, where I can't hold anything because they're coated in fat that I can't get off.
Well,
I like that.
The 93-7, you do get some fat. You get enough fat to cook a hamburger.
I would recommend to not go leaner than 80-20 on a good burger.
The last burgers I made, I think, were 90-10, and they were fine.
Yeah, they're fine. There's enough fat in there. I
usually buy 80-20.
It's just the amount of fat. I mean, the thing is, you get 80-20, you actually end up burning so much of the fat off. You still get the same burger. Well, you just burn off more fat.
Depends on how you cook your burger too. But if you make you got to make a fat patty because you're going to lose some of it. It's going to shrink a little bit to that. But you also don't cook a burger all the way through. That's what the fat's for, so that it's pink in the middle still.
But Nicole likes hers well done.
Well, there's the problem.
But if you just pull them and rest them,
yeah, they're fine.
You can still make a pretty decent, well-done burger.
What the fuck are we?
I really started resting all of my meats lately.
Yeah. No, you have to. You're supposed to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Before you cook it, you're also supposed to have it to room temperature.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm not all the way there on that one, but I have started resting.
I like to refrigerate my hamburger patties after I pat them out. Actually, I like to put them in there stiff.
It makes life easier.
Plus, I
take them out, I pat them, and then I let them get down to room temperature, and then I cook them.
we
All meat should be
rest
cooked at
them.
room temperature.
yeah, I mean, we sear
For sure
ours.
on room
Ours are
temperature.
still probably raw in the center a little bit, so
Yeah, it's fucking
it's
gross.
delicious, dude. Is this a video game
If
podcast?
this is your first, I was about to be if you'll stop talking. Welcome to the official Gamestitch Podcast. Each week, this group of best friends gets together, talks about all the video game goodness that you love. We wrap it up in this dumpster fire that we call the official Gamestitch Podcast.
Couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to give you time to butt in because I figured you would before I started talking.
No, you're right.
Who's that, Matt?
Sounds just
You
right.
figured Matt would?
It's perfect.
Yeah, I figured he would. Remember, it posts every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world. If you want to support this show, head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and toss us a couple bones. If you don't have any bones to toss, that's okay. This podcast will always be for free. And I want to give a quick shout out to Garrett Wade.
Yes, sir.
If you listen to this podcast, you're familiar with Mr. Wade. But he upped his Patreon donation.
He did.
And he continues to support us over there,
Thank you,
and
Garrett.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Garrett
appreciated.
Wade is the one guy that's keeping this show alive. He is the best.
Sure as fuck
I mean-
ain't the three of us.
We basically do it for Garrett. It's a rhetorical every week.
I would say we don't, but I would say that he is for sure our most vocal and our biggest supporter.
For
I
sure.
would say that, no doubt.
There are other people that I don't want to alienate just because you're not vocal. I listen to tons of podcasts that I don't say anything and that I don't interact with. But we do love Garrett's interaction with us.
Right.
Yes.
And we definitely encourage everybody else who listens, interact with us. We like that stuff.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I know your week's busy. I know you don't have time to talk to three people you don't really know.
Yeah.
But that would be very cool for us. Even if it's not stuff for the podcast, just reach out to us.
Get to really know us.
Me and
Yeah.
me and Garrett are friends on Xbox now. Of course, I've been busy playing Horizon, so I'm never on. But Mass Effect comes out. I might have some multiplayer stories to share.
Never heard of it.
I believe it. It's 'cause you're a piece of shit.
Wow.
Now, you're so defensive about that game. Smallest joke, and you go full forehead vein and everything.
I don't have a forehead vein. I'm sitting here smiling, chilled back in my chair. What the fuck you talking
No, you're
about?
not. For the
Yeah,
people
I'm
who
on
can't
video.
see,
You can see me. Don't give me that
for the
bullshit.
people who can't see, he's cleaning a gun right now. He's got a tank on, and his veins popping out of his forehead because I mentioned Mass Effect and what might be a negative.
Oh,
light.
there's been all kinds of negative stuff about the new Mass Effect. Animations look like shit, this, that, the other thing. You know what? The game hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. Well, if the animations look like shit, you can lump that right in with Horizon.
Horizon looks fine.
It does look fine.
I'm tired of your fucking negativity about it. It looks
Hey,
fine.
I put my time in on Horizon too. I still play it. Have you seen the big bird yet? The big 90-foot bird? Because I tried to fight one of those last night, and that's a son of a bitch to kill.
It wasn't 90 feet, but I beat a big bird.
What's the glint hawk? Well, there's two types of birds. There's the glint hawk.
This one's like the storm something. The storm.
Yeah, the Stormbringer or
That's
something.
a motherfucker.
That's the one that has the electricity.
Yeah, and the snow, and it just if
it's
it
got
whips its
everything.
tail,
Yeah.
it kills you instantly, and it jumps
Yeah,
down.
no,
Like legit. How big is it?
Like the wingspan's probably 120 feet. Like it's so far away that you run for 30 minutes towards this thing you can see flying in the sky.
No,
And
I
when
haven't
you
fought
get
it.
to it, there's you're still probably when you get to the point where you can scan it, it's so big that it takes up the screen, and you're still probably 100 yards away from it at that point. They're huge.
Have you fought the things that pop up and throw the rocks at you?
Is that Zelda?
No. This is Horizon. They're like the rock crawlers or something. I forget what they're called, but they pop up out of the ground and toss stones and boulders at you.
No, Stalkers and the Storm Eagle or whatever the hell it's called are the most recent ones. The Stalker's a piece of shit too. He turns invisible on you.
Yes.
Yeah, I went ahead and slayed one of those. I'll tell you what to do with the Stalker. You just throw the rope caster on it, and then it doesn't matter if it's invisible because it's fucking taped down to the ground.
When you get the slingshot, the Stalker dies almost instantly with electricity. You just pop the electric ball at it, and she'll be gone.
I still haven't bought the slingshot for some reason.
You haven't?
They're pretty useful.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's going to come in handy because I've done some of the hunting grounds. It's going to come in handy for that too.
Because it hits like everything. It doesn't.
Well, you can also use it to like herd things.
The other weapon that if you don't have it that you should get is the sharpshooter bow that shoots the armor, the like arrows that explode. They stick in something and then they blow the armor pieces off.
The tear arrows.
Yeah, those are great to have.
Yeah. The ones that go. Those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just like to shoot 2 fire arrows into canisters of blaze.
But they don't do any damage. The tear arrows.
The tear arrows only take the armor away so that you can shoot like the big eagle, the big storm, whatever the hell it's called. You have to shoot it with tear arrows first, or you can't kill it.
Yeah, I pop those blaze canisters and just let shit explode.
Yeah,
and that's one of my favorite things to do in that game.
I take out the guns first.
Well, I explode it, and then it falls over, and I run up and I critical it if it's still alive. I critical like everything.
Yeah, the critical hit, especially when you get the second level, is probably one of the most useful moves. Just because you can like spam it if you can keep an animal down long enough, you can just spam the critical hit until they die too.
I don't. I do everything from far away. Everything.
Not
from
me.
range.
I'm hand to hand.
Some of it you can't, man. Those
I'm also, as much as I hate stealth, I love to get in a tall grass and whistle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whistle something over to you and snap a neck.
I'll snap a neck, and then his buddy's like, "Hey, looks like Roger got his neck snapped. Let me go check it out."
Snap him too, and then
I snap his neck, and he's like, "Looks like Ted and Roger got their neck snapped. Let me go check it out."
What's this pile of bodies doing over here? Let me go check it out.
Yeah, I just fucking snapping necks. Yeah, I love the whistle. The whistle's good.
Yeah.
Those watchers, I whistle, and they're like behind the other side of the tree, and I just see them fucking creeping up, looking like velociraptors.
Yeah.
I love their little whistle. When you whistle, they're like, whoop.
Yeah.
They're my favorite. The way they move.
Yeah, the watchers
I
are
love to watch
very
the watchers,
cool.
yeah.
They're like, they whip their head around real quick.
How about the
They're
Thunderjaw? Have you seen the Thunderjaw yet?
I haven't seen that yet.
Ooh,
I haven't seen it yet.
Fucking ran away from that bitch as soon as I saw it.
It sounds cool.
It's time to run away.
What animal does it resemble?
It's a T-Rex with a guided missile launcher.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think they are the big thing. That's like the big statue that they sell on PlayStation Gear is the Thunderjaw.
That's the thing that you see when the game first starts, when you see the herd of animals run by, the big T-Rex looking guy. Oh, so I learned something. I was shopping through the outfits to see, because I bought like 7 or 8 outfits last night, and I saw one that it requires the long neck heart. I didn't even know you could fucking kill the long neck, but apparently you can.
I don't know if you can. Maybe you can just trade for it.
To trade for the heart? I don't know. Like, what if you don't want to trade for it? Like, the first thing I thought was I can kill a long neck.
Was it the long neck or the long leg?
The long neck. The heart.
Because there is a long leg.
Right, there's the long leg, which is like the antelope thing that stands real tall and slender. But
no, the long leg is like an ostrich.
It's got like the big breastplate on it, like this, that you shoot off, right?
No, I think you're thinking of tramplers.
I don't know.
It has horns?
No, well, there's the lance horn and the grazer, and then the broadhead. That's like the bull, the antelope, and the elk.
And then there's
Grazers are a piece of shit. They always see me.
Yeah, but they tend to run away too. If you make enough noise.
They're little bitches.
One of them has like this big, like, it looks like chicken breasts right on the front of it, and it's real tall. It's probably like double the height of the person. I think that's the long leg. But
it's only got 2 legs though.
I don't know. I never pay enough attention.
I know the one you're talking about, Dan. It's got like wings, but it jumps and stuff. Yeah. That one's a bitch too, because it'll jump over your tripcaster.
I may just be thinking that it has 4 legs, but this one required the long neck. I'll go back and get a screenshot of it so that you guys can see.
I've probably seen it, and I don't remember seeing one that required a long leg or a long neck heart.
They're majestic.
The long necks, yeah.
I don't think I want to kill them.
I love being around them, where the ground kind of trembles and you hear them like that. Thump. I like that.
I got to get back.
I rode mine for way too long just to be up on it.
I got to get back onto, because I've only done the one you do in the main story quest. I haven't. I found like 3 other ones, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Did you buy the map?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should immediately buy all the maps.
Yeah, the maps are great. The whole like southern half of my map is completed already. I'm trying to. I'm probably gonna platinum that game. I like it so much. for all of its shit.
Man, you're so fucking hot and cold with that game.
You're all over the place.
You know what I like about that game is I can skip the story and like all of the dialogue options and all the weird backstory that is really cool. I don't like the way the characters deliver it to me, so I can skip it all and read it all later, and I like that. The quest log has all of it.
Then you loved it, then you hated it, now you love it again.
I don't know if I love it. It has its problems. It's like a mid-tier game that I think that people should play, but I don't think it's the flagship PS4 title or anything like that.
You guys are
it's worth a platinum.
Ex-lovers.
It's worth a playthrough, and if not, it's worth if you think it's worth the playthrough, it's probably worth the platinum hunt. But I don't think that if you don't own a PS4 and somebody's trying to tell you like the first game that you need to play on PS4, it's not Horizon. I don't think Horizon's that game.
I think it might actually be.
Me too.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It just to me, it doesn't strike me as that level of game. Like it's a fun game, but it's not the one that like you must buy.
I also really liked Second Son, though, and a lot of people didn't. Like, I think there are really good experiences to be had, and I think Horizon is a top-notch experience for PS4.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Matt, I was telling Ryan prior to you getting on when you were getting ass raped by Optimus Prime.
That only makes sense to us. I hope you know that, Dan.
That's fine.
I know it does. That's the best part. I think this game here may be my second favorite game after the Mass Effect series.
I can understand that because the way the story is told reminds me of Mass Effect. Like the dialogue trees and like having to probe everybody in town for like 80 questions deep to get like the full story and like why things are important. It reminds me of Mass Effect in the way that it's told. So something I can't figure out is when I go from like Breath of the Wild back to Horizon, because I'm trying to play them both at the same time, which is probably driving me insane.
Probably.
So in Breath of the Wild, you can climb everything. Like Link has like a climbing animation, so like a sheer rock face, you can climb it. I'm trying to figure out why Horizon doesn't have an Assassin's Creed style or Legend of Zelda style climbing system, because you can go up any surface. You just have to do that ridiculous looking jump. You just have to spam X and do that jump where she puts her knees up to her boobs to climb stuff. It looks stupid. Like that's the thing. Like that's the level of like polish and thought that the game doesn't have that makes it like the top game for PS4. Like why isn't there a mechanic to climb rock faces? You'll walk up to a rock that's at shoulder level and she can't jump onto it because there's no like grip and climb animation. So you have to find some fucked up way around to get up to places.
But on the flip side of that, and I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know. Ryan, you'll have to back me up on this, or maybe even Matt. If you go up on, let's say, a slight hill, and you just climb up the hill and you look over, Lion King style, looking over the world. Mm-hmm. There, you can see birds flying, you can see boar, you can see fox, you can see machines. There's the trees
world
are
is
swaying.
Alive. Yeah,
the world is huge and alive, and it's a real thing, and everything you see you can get to. At some point, I mean, you only have so much money. There's only so much you can do. They have done so much to bring me into this real breathing world. And it feels like an actual future that could happen to us. And as you guys find out more of the story, you might understand what I mean. But it feels like this could be an actual future.
Sure, but
for the world we live in.
For all of that, there is a climbing mechanic when you touch the yellow studs and ropes and stuff. Like, why not just make everything in the world act that way, like Tomb Raider does, right? Tomb Raider has the white ledges, but it seems to blend in. Like, just make it so you can climb things. It seems to.
I would also argue that the world of Horizon is much more alive than the world of Tomb Raider.
I'll never argue that Horizon doesn't have one of the most like living, breathing open worlds I've ever been in. Like it's very akin to Grand Theft Auto.
And for that reason, because they have touched on all these other milestones that I need in a living, breathing world, I guess I don't really. I mean, once you pointed it out, I understand it, but it's never been something that I've really noticed in the game. I've just been trying to get up this hill.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Like, it's something that you can forgive them because of how deep the world is, but it's like when you just come to the conversation of is this the PS4 game? Like, that's the thing that, like, if the animations were better and the characters felt more, if the characters felt as alive as the world does, and if the animations and, like, the ability to explore the world were a little bit more polished, then I would say probably yeah. But, like, there are a couple of things that hold this game back to being, it's on the same level as Uncharted 4. It's a great game. Do I think it's the best game to come out on the system? Probably not.
What do you think is the best non-port PS4 game?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
That's better than Uncharted or better than Horizon.
When you think back to the PS3, like, I think there is a definitive one or two games that make that console. I don't think the PS4 has that type. I think PS4 has a lot of games like Horizon. It has.
Yeah, but you waited all the way to the end to get Last of Us, so that's not fair. At the end of the PS4's life cycle, there will probably be a defining game.
True, but I don't think. I don't. Even if that day never comes for PS4, I just don't categorize Horizon as the game. Like, is there a cluster of great games that you should have in your library? Sure. Is Horizon one of those? Yeah. Is it, like, if you had to buy the system and one game, is that the game? No. It's, like, honestly, it's the port of The Last of Us. But if you take the ports away, like, I still don't think that's the game.
But here's the thing. You talk about Last of Us and how great that was. And it was a great game, don't get me wrong. And I haven't played it in a bit, so I could be wrong when I say this, but I don't think you can jump in that game.
No, you can't. You don't need to.
Okay,
you can't jump in Batman Arkham Asylum either.
That? How ridiculous is that?
I mean, you haven't been able to jump in Legend of Zelda until the recent iterations of the game. I don't think the jump mechanic makes the game, but the mechanics that they give you...
I don't think the climbing mechanic makes a game.
Sure. But
the problem is trying to compare these things.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think you have to compare it within the game world. Like, in Horizon, you're meant to climb the mountains and explore the world, but there's no climbing mechanic, and it feels like you're playing Skyrim, where you're just jumping endlessly to the top, that's fine in a first-person shooter. But when you can see the character, like, it makes a difference. But
I don't even think it's fair to compare, as similar as they are, to compare Zelda and Horizon. It won't get you anywhere because they're drastically different in the way that they're doing the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, to answer the question, what's the best game on PS4? I don't know. Honestly, it's probably, like, to me, the PS4 has been an indie console, and to me, it's probably an indie title that really has made this console for me. I don't know the game, but to me, that PS4 tapped into a like this idea of retro and nostalgia that maybe the market didn't know that it wanted, and PS4 has really been an open market for those kind of developers and games, and I think I appreciate it more for that. I think The Order is one of the best games I've played on PS4 so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to come down to personal preference. I didn't love Last of Us, and I think as much as I love The Order, Horizon is 10 times a better game than that. But, in the things that, Zelda, I play Zelda slow. I play Horizon fast. The climb is so slow in Zelda that it pisses me off.
Well, it's stamina based,
Yeah, so if that is the climb they would have put in Horizon, I would have hated it.
Yeah, Horizon needs a fast Assassin's Creed style.
But also, part of what pisses me off with Assassin's Creed is he fucking climbs everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a mailbox, he's on a fucking wagon, he's on the side of a building. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just trying to walk down the street. There are reasons I think not to, but trying to compare is just impossible.
I agree.
Because these games are so unique, and the mechanics work so well for what they're doing. I don't get hung up I roll almost everywhere I go. So I don't get hung up in the animations because I'm fucking barrel rolling for 250 yards.
Right. I'm running. I run everywhere.
Dude, I barrel roll constantly. I don't think it's faster than running. I just think it's fucking cool looking when I come across the prairie like that.
I'll tell you what is the best animation I may have ever seen in a game is her sliding animation.
Yes.
Her slide's cool.
Her slide is almost as good as Gator and Disc Jam. It's very good.
The slide reminds me of Disc Jam. Yeah. The way they slide is very similar. It makes the same noise.
Yeah.
It's good.
They really did get an animation out of that like you don't realize you need it in video games, but that slide like really makes the combat sometimes. And you think back to games that really did it right, like Vanquish, where the slide was kind of the game mechanic,
Right.
like that, and that made the combat. Horizon really did nail it with that.
Dude, the slide and the roll
Yeah.
are my saviors.
The roll,
I would be dead all the time
because of the invincibility frames that the roll gives you. Like, it saves your ass in combat because you can just because you can spam it, so you can roll out without taking a damage,
I know.
which is great.
I know.
Right.
I roll.
It's
I roll into combat. I roll during combat, and I roll out of combat.
it's awesome.
See,
Her
I
back
don't
would
see.
be
That's
just
funny because
callous.
I actually try to time it. Like when I see him coming at me, I'm like, oh, I got to get out of the way so now I can unleash 2 arrows because then I just
No need, Dan. Just roll.
Yeah, just
no,
roll,
but
dude.
that's I don't do it that way.
No need to time it. You've always nailed the timing if you just always rolling.
I like the timing part though. Where I love rolling out of the way at like just the right moment, and then turning and pulling my arrow back and clicking on my concentrate. And okay, I'll take this out, take that out, take that out.
I'll tell you what's the only problem with the roll is you get disoriented sometimes if you roll too much. And you pop up and you shoot an arrow and something, not realizing there's 6 somethings right behind you.
Yeah.
Because you've rolled so hard, but I still prefer the roll. We've spent a long time on Horizon.
Yeah.
We have.
The point is, and we're about to make this point, you should buy all the games that are out so far.
I agree.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you'll ever get to play them, but you should buy them.
So I was trying to think about something to talk about this week, and I just kept getting so distracted by all the games that I needed to play. So I decided we would talk about that instead.
I agree.
It's like an
So I'm going to read
epiphany.
you a list of games real quick. I'm just going to read all the way through these. Just bear with me. I
Okay.
just want you to think about these titles that I'm reading. 2064 Read-Only Memories, Gravity Rush 2, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, Final Chapter Prologue, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Neo, For Honor, Sniper Elite 4, Halo Wars 2, Night in the Woods, Lego Worlds, Horizon Zero Dawn, 1-2 Switch, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Bomberman R, Nier Automata, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, Danganronpa 1+2 Reloaded, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Styx Shards of Darkness, Mass Effect Andromeda, Mario Sports Superstars, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5, MLB The Show, Persona 5, Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, Yooka-Laylee, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Little Nightmares, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So the list of games that I just read you are just the games that are getting a lot of buzz that are coming out in the first 4 months of this year.
Yep. That
left
list
off-
is through April 28th.
I left off about 100 games that were on this list originally,
Yep.
and narrowed it down to the ones that people are spending a lot of time talking about.
Yeah.
And this list is overwhelming.
Yeah. This is off-air conversation. You and I, Ryan. I've made this comment several times. 2017 is looking a lot like 2011. And if we all worked at GameStop that year, if you guys remember, that's the year of like Brutal Legend and like Arkham Asylum, and that November there were like 15 games in a fucking week,
But it's
and they were
March.
good. Yeah.
Like, that's the scary thing is if this continues all year, I may have to trade all my systems.
Yeah,
in.
2017 is gonna send me to the fucking like fast cash advance place to pay for.
And
some
here's
of
the-
these
I'm going to
games.
go the loony bin, though.
Hey.
It's so overwhelming that I just want to not
And
play.
here's the thing: is this the thing about is this is a double-edged sword, because of course you want a number of options of good games to choose from.
Yeah.
The problem is
When they're all
good. Now, once you have them, which ones do you play and in which order? And how quick do you have to get them done before the next good game you buy?
Yeah, this is one of those years where your back catalog gets overwhelming. You know.
Like I was talking to Ryan earlier. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because I am smack dab in the middle of Horizon and loving Horizon Zero Dawn. Mass Effect Andromeda comes out on the 21st.
Yeah.
And I have EA Early Access, which means technically in 4 days I could be playing Mass Effect.
Right.
I will not be done with Horizon.
So you have to split your time between two. Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, I mean,
You have to split your time between two just in your life now because it's too fucking much pressure.
Right.
yeah. Well, I mean, like,
This is the classic Dennis Hopper, Keanu Reeves
yeah.
in Speed.
Which
that I'm
one
getting.
do you choose?
Yep.
Right.
You shoot the hostage.
What do you
That's
do,
what you do.
hotshot? What
You
do
shoot
you
the
do?
hostage.
So, but what I started thinking about is, there's so many people who are like, I just want every game that comes out to be good. I don't think you do.
No.
Because what's happening right now are there are so many good games that most of us can't afford to buy everything.
Well, not just to mention, we don't have the time to play everything.
Yeah, but I buy shit without time all the time. So but you run out of money, so you have to make decisions. So now good games are not going to sell as well because they're splitting with 37 other titles. And so that affects sequels. It affects new projects. It affects those risks that they take by putting these games out. Like, it starts. So For Honor, I think, does something very interesting. It's not a game I want to play or that I even care about, but it does something interesting that is going to suffer because it came out the same time as shit that people would rather play.
Well, yeah, it came out within a week of Horizon, and it came out within a week of the Nintendo Switch. I don't think it'll suffer because of that, but I think that its penetration is not as deep into like gamer libraries as it should be because of that.
And you got Neo like the week before, and there's just too much. $60 is a lot of money. Someone has to decide where to spend their money. They can't buy everything, and games like that, I think you'll see the same thing out of Wildlands. I think Wildlands is going to suffer from the amount of things that are already out.
I don't think Wildlands is very good, but I understand what you're saying.
But that game has an audience.
It does have,
it
has a huge audience.
It does.
Yeah. So,
and I think it's going to suffer by being sandwiched between Horizon and Mass Effect. Like, good lord, what are you supposed to do?
My opinion differs on this a little bit. I say put all the great games out as frequently as you want to because. Kind of to echo you, choice is never a bad thing, and the more awesome games there are to choose from, the better. And even though you can't play them all at launch, and even though you can't buy them all at launch, time is on your side because next year it'll be shit games, and the year after that it'll be shit games, and you'll be looking back going, what happened to 2017? Where are all those games? And I'm making broad strokes here, not necessarily saying that next year or in the months to come that games will be shit, but you will look back and go, oh yeah, Mass Effect came out and I didn't play it then. Like, let me go get a badass game because these aren't really hitting for me. So I don't, I think you have. I think all these good games coming out is fine as long as you don't overwhelm yourself and try to buy them all at the same time. But to your point, the problem's going to happen with penetration. Like For Honor, you won't get a sequel because it doesn't sell right off the bat. When it hits $29.99 and you're buying it up because there's nothing coming out before Christmas, that's fine. But when they are doing their market research, they don't care about those sales. They care about how to do it at launch.
Matt, that's what I was going to say. Is yes, choice is great, but with every choice, there's a consequence. And that's what gets forgotten too much. And in this case, the consequences would be in the future. The developers and publishers, they look at the numbers. They look at the immediate numbers.
Yeah.
If that game doesn't sell in those immediate numbers, it gets written off.
Right.
What that does by making a choice now is important to remember. When I say choices have consequences, and it's when you make a choice now, you are affecting a choice in the future.
Yeah. Well, and people are going to buy the games that they know now in favor of the games that they, people are going to skip over read-only memories and possibly Gravity Rush 2 because Resident Evil 7 came out, right?
Right.
But looking back now, having finished Resident Evil 7, and even though I want to go back and play that game again and really explore that world, like, I see videos for Gravity Rush 2 and go, holy shit, how did I miss this? This game looks great.
Right.
That's one of those games that really interests me, but at this point, am I going to play it? Probably not. Mass Effect's coming out. I'm playing Horizon. I'm playing Breath of the Wild. I'm playing I Am Setsuna. I'm overwhelmed with games right now.
But
Nier is a game that I want to play, but who knows when.
Right. Situations like this also present a new conundrum to a phenomenon we've spoken of in the past. We constantly talk about replay value of a game. If you've got lineups like this consistently, does that matter anymore?
I think Ryan hit on this. You only have so much money, right? So even though Nier and Resident Evil and Horizon are those games that you're going to go back in and you're going to keep playing them, I think you over that replay value, it assists in overlooking games like Gravity Rush, or maybe you overlook the Danganronpa Reload that came out before, that's on its way so that you can get geared up for Danganronpa 3. Like, you overlook that in favor of the games that, hey, I spent $60 and I haven't like hit the platinum, or I still have these side quests. I'm going to go back and do that until Mass Effect comes out, or until until Puyo Puyo, or until Persona 5 come out. Like that replay value hurts other games.
But I'm talking like, yes, I see what you're saying, but I'm talking from a consumer level. If we keep having if we see this become the norm, because this is 4 months here in a period of normally dead space.
Yeah.
If we see this trend continue and even possibly spread and get larger, does replay value matter to the consumer as much with this many options out there? Now,
I think it does, because if everything that's coming out is good, then you start back at zero, and then you start saying, okay, I can only buy 2 of these. Which 2 am I going to buy?
Right.
And even though they're all good, you're going to buy the 2 that you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck, or the average consumer is, I think, just because games are expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I could buy Grand Theft Auto, or if I could buy something I could just play through and finish, that's something to think about, even though they might both be great games. Uncharted 4 was great for me, but when I finished it, I finished it.
You were done. Yeah, same here.
So do you want 12 hours or do you want 200 hours? It still matters when you're buying a $60 game, because, if next year is a bad year because all these developers went out of business because no one bought their games because there were too many, you do need to be able to go back to these things and have these experiences. And, we recently got back into Grand Theft Auto, and I'm playing it, every week now. Mm-hmm. So I think replay value does still matter. I just think it's different. Everything is different because there's going to be a drop-off point where these games stop coming out.
I think the industry needs to look at the baseline that they've reestablished also. When you release a game like Grand Theft Auto, and that's $60, and that game is a 200 to 500 hour game, you can play that till the console dies. If you buy Grand Theft Auto and you don't pop it in every week, you just didn't like the game, right? But I think when you look at it in comparison to that, a $60 game, The Order, right? The Order, play it through once, you can platinum it on the first playthrough. I don't think that experience is any less valuable than Grand Theft Auto, but the baseline of what you should get for $60 has been changed by games like Horizon and Grand Theft Auto and For Honor even, right? That's an endlessly playable game that your $60 goes a long way. Battlefield 1, that's a $60 game. So when you go back and you look at a game like something that came out like Doom, right? Oh, well, let's not say Doom because it's endlessly playable too, but like Uncharted, right? Uncharted's a story, and it's got a multiplayer tacked on. I think you have to reestablish what the price point for an experience is when you can compare the playable hours. Uncharted, even with its multiplayer, I think you're talking about a maximum like 40 to 200 hour game versus a minimum 80 to 400 or 500 hour game out of Grand Theft Auto. So Uncharted 4 games in that vein, when they come out, maybe they should hit the $39.99, $49.99 price point. It will help bring them to the front. Uncharted may be a bad example because it's going to sell at $60 no matter what, but you get the idea. A game that maybe not, that, like, let's say Nier, right? You put Nier up against Mass Effect, people will choose Mass Effect. But if you drop the price point on Nier, even though the production value's there, the quality's there, and it's a $60 game, but you put it out at $49.99, that helps people choose it and keeps it from being overshadowed.
Should you have to? If you're making a great game, should you have to?
And not just that, but now
that's an unfair question.
Now you're taking the two baselines that get measured by. First of all, I want to say I agree with both of you. Yes, replay value still matters. I was just playing devil's advocate.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
I agree with you too. Yes, replay does matter. But Matt, back to your point, what you're doing now is you're making the two baselines that are measured against compete.
But they are different.
Yes.
They should compete.
But what I'm saying is you've got this game at $60. It comes out. It offers a few more hours playtime. Maybe a couple 10, 20 more hours. But now you've got this game that comes out at $49.99 because it's just as good a game but doesn't offer as much hours. Well, now the two measures that the industry bases by is how much money is made and how many units are sold.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're making that smaller game compete against itself rather than against another game, because it might sell more units, but it's not going to make as much money.
Well, see, I sure I get what you're saying. If you're saying that it's only going to sell 50,000 units at $40, or it's going to sell $50,000 units at $60, sure, it's going to make more money at the $60 price point. But I think if you can make gamers not have to choose, right? You say, hey, here's a game. It's AAA quality. It's fantastic. You may only play it through once or twice, but it's cheaper because of that. People will choose that game. People will. You may sell more units. So if your penetration is up at a cheaper price point, you may have made the same amount or more money that you did at $60 for less units, and you funded the game and the sequel. And this is my personal belief on market and business, is not that undercutting is good, but that putting a realistic value on your thing is important, right? It's a PS4 game. It's $59.99. That's the standard, right? Mm-hmm. But hey, here's my PS4 game that I made. I don't want to compete with Call of Duty. I want you to buy it, so I'm going to price it at $30. Even though I may have spent the same amount of money, I want you to buy it, and I want you to tell your friends to go buy it because it's a great value. And at $30, you'd be stupid not to go buy it. And then I sell double the units that I expected to. So I've made the same amount of money, but I put it in more people's hands. And so when the next game comes up and the publisher says, "Let's make a sequel to this," now we can value it higher. Now we've got more money. You know.
I understand what you're saying. In a perfect world, yeah, that's wonderful. Unfortunately, that's not where we live. That's the market sets those standards. I think that's a slippery. I just think it's a slippery slope when you talk about that, because now, let's say this game sells 100,000 more units than it normally would have,
mm-hmm.
but because it's priced at half the price, in order to compete what it would have made at twice that price, it needed to sell twice as many units.
Right,
well, it sold 200,000 extra units. That's great, but it needed to sell 3.
Yeah, but shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't, $5 is $5. That's, I say it constantly.
Well, yeah, $5 is $5 unless you need 10.
Yeah, but this is the thing, is you gotta be realistic. $5 that you have in your hand is a lot better than $10 that you feel you should have earned. So if you can, if you sell more copies at half the price and you make that money, versus at $60 not selling enough to hit the same, at half the price you made $500,000. At $60,000 or at $60 you might have made $20,000. I would rather have the more money at a cheaper price.
To a certain extent, yes. I don't know that it's as simple as $5 is better than the 10 I could have had, because if my rent's $600 and I got $500 in the hand, but you know what?
Yeah, but that's
it's
better
not
than
feeding me my house.
No dollars in the hand, right?
No, because I still don't have a place to live either way.
Holding out for $600 instead of taking the $500 that's in your face. I don't agree with that concept. It to me that is a good way to fail. It's the same thing that your parents tell you, take any job, people in life. Hey, I lost my job. Okay, well, go take any job, because any job's better than no job. Any money's better than no money.
Right.
That's really easy to say.
It really is. It
is.
It's like Dan said, we're talking about perfect world concepts right here.
Right.
It's not. It's not a perfect world. Everybody's thing is worth $60 because they gave up their marriage, they gave up their life, their dog died, and they didn't get to mourn because they had to develop this video game. Like, I get it.
And the other problem with the way things work is most consumers are uninformed, and a $60 game is better than a $40 game because it costs $60.
Right.
Yep.
But price. So price does dictate quality.
Yeah, and I don't know that they help themselves by going down in price, and they shouldn't have to.
I agree with that too.
But you do there's never been a time where I think you owe yourself to do some digging and do some research and figure out what you'll enjoy, because find someone who you agree with and listen to what they say and the games that they talk about, because you're going to miss some things with this many good games coming out.
I think that's probably the most important point. That's why we do what we do. That's why Kind of Funny and Giant Bomb and Rooster Teeth. That's why everybody has their video game podcast, Married to the Games. each podcast team have a different style of game that they love, and everybody's listenership plays different kind of games, and it's all about, we're going to play those games, and you can listen to us and find out if it's something that you're going to enjoy too. Like, that's, I'll tell you that's part of it.
Another really important thing you can do when you're doing the research is listen to the people who disagree with how you think you might feel about something.
Yeah.
Don't just line up behind the people who are like, oh, I love this game because you love this game. That's great. One of the things I always do is after I play a game, or I'm in the middle of playing a game, say I'm 20 hours in or whatever, I will go back and read different reviews on that game from when it first came out to get an idea of what other people thought of it and how it compares to what I thought. Because what that does is that helps inform me for the future. And they may pick up on things I didn't notice.
Right, when I say align yourself with people who like things you like, I mean to purchase games.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with going back and, after I buy it, I actually like to read the negative reviews after I buy it, before I even start playing it. So that I can kind of get my head around what I might see and what I might not see since I read the positive reviews.
So I don't.
Yeah, it's the same thing in the good reviews, though. You get spoilers.
Well,
you just have to be careful with any of those. But a lot of people are getting really good about telling you something spoiler-free.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more people, I think, make a lot of, a real effort to be spoiler-free when they talk about something.
Yeah.
But I kind of, it helps my expectations kind of get in line so that I don't immediately get disappointed with something. But also, I think it's just, and this is something I struggle with too, you don't have to buy everything when it comes out. Mm-hmm. The reason that May is not included in this list is because there's nothing that people are talking about coming out in May right now.
Right.
So there are going to be down periods and maybe it's May, June, July, and then we start ramping back up. But, if you wait, these games are going to be $20 cheaper, and it is going to affect the developers and the publishers, but you're still going to get to play them.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, that's just the nature of the beast.
When you see these lineup of titles like this, it's hard not to get game acquisition syndrome and want to buy them all.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think all gamers deal with that. I think us especially.
But speaking from experience, it's way less daunting if they're not on your shelf and they're still on the shelf at Best Buy.
It hurts a little bit, right? You go into Best Buy and you're like, oh, man, there's that game I want.
Yeah, but it's better than going to your house and being like, I'm a piece of shit because I got to finish this, but I got to play this still, and I still want to play this, and there's still Rocket League, and there's still Stardew, and there's...
I'd rather have them in my drawer with the plastic on them than I would to go to Best Buy and see it.
No, you're drunk. You're drunk. It's so fucking stressful. And I buy everything that comes out the day it comes out because I'm an idiot.
Right.
But it's so stressful. I'm like, oh, I haven't even, I played whatever 4 hours of Last Guardian. I still got to get back into that. And I haven't unwrapped Journey, Robinson, the Journey, whatever the fuck that game's called. And I'm still, barely in the Eagles flight. And I got all this VR stuff I want to play, but I'm getting more behind on Horizon. I tried to jump back into Rocket League because it's been too long, and everybody's making money on Grand Theft Auto. I also want to make money.
So here's
on
the flip side of that coin: is I don't like buying a game just because it's $10. Here's a great example of Star Wars Battlefront. That thing went on sale at Christmas. We all scooped it up for next to nothing. I played it for 8 minutes. I popped it in longer.
That was still a good purchase, though. That game's worth $10.
Right, see, but this is kind of the flip side of this coin. Like, did anybody need to buy that title if we're not going to play it? Because by the time we get around to being able to play it with all these games coming out,
Battlefront 2 will be
Battlefront 2 is coming out. So
I still feel okay about that $10 purchase. I'll just tell you one that you guys don't even know about. I purchased one for $10 this week, and I'm real excited about it.
I don't know. What was it?
It's the golf club.
Oh,
jeez. Golf club?
Yeah, dude, $10.
I like that.
I found it at Walmart for $10.
I like that game because the title's a pun, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it. And then check this out. I get on my friends list this morning. Some other fucker's playing the golf club this morning.
No, somebody else saw it for $10 and went to get it.
Yeah.
Is it Patman?
Yeah, I was like, perfect.
So is that like Drive Club?
No, Drive Club's good.
But with golf and with nothing. No, I heard the golf club's really good too. They said it was better than Tiger Woods, is what a lot of people said this year.
Damn.
I'm excited about playing the golf club. Now, this is last year's. I think there's a new one getting ready to come out.
Right.
But I'm pumped to play it. $10, $9.99.
Wow.
And it wasn't like it was on sale. It was like it was $9.99.
Like that's the price point it came out.
Yeah, it didn't have like a clearance sticker on it, but it was over to the side, and it was just $9.99. And I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I bought that. So I guess it's different for me. I buy those expecting to play them once or twice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
for that price point. But when I buy a game for $60, I expect to play all the way through it, and it's not realistic because I buy too many of them.
Right.
Yes, and, you know, it's like right now I'm thinking about like, what do I have the 40 hours to pump into Horizon? Do I have the 40 hours to put into Zelda while continuing to play Rocket League, Stardew, and Grand Theft Auto? And the answer is no. And even if I did, that means all the other games I own that I haven't got to play yet, I'm not going to get to play.
On the back burner, yeah. I think, to wind this down a little bit, I think anytime you're in a situation where there's a number of good games coming out, a number of good games you're thinking about playing, I think the biggest thing the greatest thing you can do is trust yourself. You know what you like, you know what you enjoy, do a little bit of research, and pick what lines up with what you like and enjoy. If there's something I don't know that it's wise in a situation like this to take a chance on something that looks okay when you've got 2 or 3 choices coming up in the next month that you know you're going to like. Take a chance when it hits down to $20, $30. Go with what you know in these situations.
Roll the dice at 60, be a man.
Yeah, I say buy the thing that you think you might
buy
not
the thing
like.
that scares you a little bit.
Buy the scary game because the one that you love is always going to be there.
Or buy them all.
Or,
you know, small business loan, advanced financial 24/7.
Right,
There's a lot of options out
refinance
there.
your home, take out a second mortgage.
Yeah, refi.
Okay, as you can
there's
see,
a lot of
I'm the guy
options.
who takes the safe road.
Dan's the
sometimes.
logical one when it comes to games.
Yes.
Dan buys
no,
games
he's
the
not.
way that I buy cars.
No, he's not. This is bullshit. If y'all are saying he's reasonable, because Dan buys a lot of bad games and he buys them all the time.
Well, I think in comparison to the two of us.
But I buy games that I enjoy.
Right.
Dan buys as many games as I do. I feel confident saying that.
Sure.
No.
He just doesn't buy as many $60 games as I buy, but he buys as many games as I buy.
Sure.
Oh, that might be fair. I might buy.
And you probably play as many as I do too. You've got tons of shit you haven't played. I know you do.
I know what you're talking about.
I buy them at 60 and then let them sit until they're $10 and I haven't even opened them yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoops.
I don't do that. I wait till the stuff I want to play goes on sale and it's like $3, $9.
You know, Farming Simulator was spectacular last year and I haven't even opened this year. It's still wrap. And that's disappointing to me.
Wait for it to
and
come
then I
out.
look at Lego Worlds and I'm like, I got to play that now.
Yeah. Wait for it to come out
But
on Switch
I can't.
for that farming simulator. We'll play it together.
I'm going to jump on PS4 so I understand how to make money. So when we jump in Switch, it'll be like, how are you so good at this? And I'll be like, I don't know. Luck, I guess. It is probably the best time in a long time to be playing video games. Just don't let it overwhelm you. It's been overwhelming me. And it does start to feel like a chore. So I would say be careful with that. Just work through it as you can.
Yeah. If you guys are listening to the show and you want to tell us about your overwhelming catalog of games or the games that you think that everybody should be playing based on this list or based on what's come out, hit us up on Twitter. That's at @game_stitch. Use the hashtag whatever the hell you want to because I don't have a good one for it. But make sure that you put at @game_stitch on it and we'll read it on the show next week.
Just make sure it's a short question because hashtag whatever the hell you want to is going to take up most of your characters.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of characters.
Just forget the hashtag. Hashtags are stupid.
Yeah, just tweet at us and say, hey, I'm playing this, I'm looking forward to this, and fuck my life. It's too much.
Hell yeah. Hashtag fuck my life.
FML.
Yeah. FML. It's a good FML, though.
Put a smiley face on the end of it then.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's like if you were just to get like too much cake.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I gotta eat all this cake.
It's like,
And then
I
there's
have all
Chocolate,
these-
there's
I have all
vanilla,
these
there's
different
marble. What the
cookies.
fuck
Where
am I
do
going to
start?
do? Right.
I'm gonna puke because
Yeah.
you guys won't stop talking over each other.
Right. Well, that's Dan. I was in a thought. He's
Yeah.
like, let me add.
My
Let me
thought
add
was
that.
cooler too because
My
I got
thought's so
thinking
good, I
about
can't
cookies.
wait. My thoughts like this cake, you just have to have more of it.
Right.
Cookies.
But yeah, that's the kind of problem it is where you're like, oh man, there's another cat video. Like it's not bad. It's good, and I would say try not to let it discourage you because this is the kind of lineups that we want. We have to figure out ways to support all of these games, and obviously you can't buy them all. So just being aware and talking about it, and not worrying about what everybody else is doing. If you want to play Little Nightmares or Ukulele, then fuck everything else. Buy those two.
Yeah.
Like that's the beauty of these games all coming out, is you could play whatever you want. Those are 2 games I'm going to play that I just named. And you can skip something like Mass Effect if that's not your thing. Like you don't have to buy Horizon. I almost called it Verizon.
Verizon.
Yeah, don't skip Mass Effect.
Yeah, Verizon Zero Dawn.
Go and skip Mass Effect. They'll be fine without your $60.
There are people who should skip Mass Effect that aren't going to like it, and they should buy some of these other great games.
I agree with that. And
there are people who should skip, Mario Kart because they're not going to play it, and they might play Nier instead. You just have to make decisions that are good for you.
I skipped the Switch altogether for that very reason.
That might be a misstep.
There's nothing on there I'm going to play.
For all the food you have to replace from your power going out, you could have bought a Switch.
That's true, dude.
I'd rather buy the food.
Yeah, that sucks. You're drunk. But if your power didn't go out, you would have still had the food and had the Switch.
I have no desire for the Switch. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah, you do.
Man, I wish I could keep talking shit about the Switch like I did before it came out, but I was so fucking wrong about that thing.
I don't have a desire for it right now.
Bro, I didn't have a desire either till I got that box in my car, and then I couldn't wait to open her up. Now I can't put it down. I love this thing. It's right here. It's by my side all the time. I love this thing.
Yeah.
Mine's in a case being protected all the time.
No, not mine. Mine is experiencing the world at 100 miles an hour.
I treat mine like a newborn. Like I'm afraid to let
Me
it
too.
touch the air.
Get some dirt on you. You'll be fine.
No, it won't be. That's one thing I do worry about with the red and blue controllers. The red one looks like it'd real easy get dirty.
Yeah. The colors seem like they're going to get...
Faded,
yeah. Or like, they'll start to have wear marks on them like a good guitar. Which that doesn't, doesn't bother me.
I can't tell if they're molded that color or if there's sprayed something on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see, because I know that paint's coming off with stickers, but every time I see that, also don't put stickers on your Switch.
Yeah. Savage.
Everywhere that I see that, it's on the gray one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't feel like paint. It feels like it's right. The plastic
they kind of got that
color.
velvety smooth.
Mm-hmm. The buttons for sure. The buttons have that butter feeling to them. I like it.
Yeah, they feel nice.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the headlines. We learned a little more about Mass Effect Andromeda this week, including the fact that its multiplayer DLC maps will be free. Additionally, a new trailer showed off the Nomad vehicle, and another trailer highlighted the Tempest. We also got the launch trailer because it is here. It is happening.
Yes, it is.
Big week for you.
DLC maps being free, I expected. They were in the first one. Or in Mass Effect 3. In the first multiplayer, I should say.
In the first Mass Effect 3.
The first Mass Effect 3, yes.
Yeah.
The DLC maps were free there as well. I'm still super excited for this game, and come Thursday or Friday, whatever the 16th is, I am going to be facing some hard choices.
Yeah, but you're full on riding the hype train now. I think everybody is. It's so close that now it's everywhere you turn around, there's more Mass Effect news, and it's like, it's happening. Like that build up to the week of, that's what gets me, same thing like for the Switch, I kind of went through I'm excited, it'll be cool when it comes out, but that week of, when they start showing it and talking about it, it's everywhere, you're like, hell yeah. Like, that's a good week, and it sucks because I was the same way with Horizon that you feel right now, where I'm like, I don't think I can stop playing Horizon to play Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the choice I made, where I'm playing Zelda extremely slow because I don't want it to taint my Horizon experience.
Right.
And, Mass Effect's probably not something you can play slow, so I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
But you should buy everything, either way. Buy a Switch is what I think.
I am not going to buy a Switch. Maybe Christmas time.
Keeping that DLC train a-rolling. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered is getting a DLC pack next week in the form of the Variety Map Pack. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's the same name as the first one that came in the original 2008 release of Modern Warfare. It also has all the same maps, but with better graphics. It's going to launch on March 21st for PS4 first, and it's going to cost $15, which is more than it originally cost.
This is kind of shitty. This one.
Sort of, but people want this.
They do want it. I don't know why it wouldn't have been included in the first remastered.
Because they could sell it again for $15.
I understand that part, too. I still think that this is shitty.
Here's what I think. I think it should have been the same price.
I'm thinking, can't we observe what Mass Effect's doing and the goodwill they're extending by giving their DLC away for free, and how that's piggybacking on what they did with The Witcher over at CD Projekt Red? And can't companies understand that you get a lot of ground with your audience by giving them something?
Call of Duty is exempt from that because they don't need anything from their audience.
Nobody's exempt from that.
Their audience is, and don't be offended by this if it's Call of Duty is the only thing that you play, but their audience is cattle. And they're going to play it no matter what. They're going to buy all the map packs no matter what. And that's okay. Like, that's fine if that's what you like. And it's fine for Activision to keep nickel and diming you because you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you're going to get your hours because you play thousands of hours a year in Call of Duty. So I think there are games that this is fine for. And I just think it would be cool to be the same price because you already think it's worth that because you already bought it once.
Well, they are throwing in the rare drops, so...
yeah, and I don't know the value on those. I know you can purchase them out of the game, so maybe that makes up for the difference. You're totally right. That could be worth $5 because you can buy those with in-game or with real-world money. So, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, the next game from Igarashi, is heading to the Switch.
Sweet.
This was a stretch goal on Kickstarter to bring it to the Wii U, but since the Wii U is dead, they have now changed and pivoted to coming out on the Switch. And it's a good move. It's a cool game. It's a lot like Castlevania. It's got that Symphony of the Night thing going on, and I think it's going to be really cool to play on the Switch, actually. I don't know if it's a game I'm going to get, but I think if I purchase it, I think it might be on the Switch versus the PS4.
Yeah, part of that's just I'm looking for awesome games to play on the Switch right now. I'm so in love with the console that I want anything. And anything that makes me feel like I'm playing a Nintendo game is good, and so if this can hit that nostalgia button a little bit, then I'm into it.
Right.
So it looks great.
You'll have to wait till the first half of 2018 to get it. So who knows what the situation will be as far as the library goes. You may feel like you have enough games, and it'll be interesting to see the next 6 months of the Switch and the support behind it. Not necessarily what's out, but what's announced. I think E3 will be very telling for the Switch. It appears things are going well. Symphony of the Night, or not Symphony of the Night, Bloodstained hasn't really made any announcements, but whenever they sent out the splash screen with all the developers on it, it wasn't in the Nindies, but now when they sent out the press release, it is in there.
Yeah.
So, there are constantly games being added to the library and that are being developed for the Switch, and we're going to get into a story in a second that kind of explains, people are excited about the Switch, so it'll be interesting to see what devs jump on there and what publishers say, hey, let's put some resources towards this. The Joy-Cons, it would appear that you can also use those with your PC, with your Mac, with your Android phone.
Anything Bluetooth.
Anything Bluetooth with the exception of the iPhone will allow you to use it out of the box. Now, there is some setup in order to map the buttons on everything except for the Mac. But with you can just sync them right up. And apparently with the Mac, you just take that bitch out of the box, sync it up, and you can play anything with it that supports a controller.
Yeah, which is really cool.
It's really neat because it's very, very un-Nintendo.
Yeah.
To leave something open to where you could just use it. I'm surprised they didn't find a fucked up way to make that not work.
Sounds like something that happened on accident.
And now that they know about it, I'm not sure that they're going to try to fix that. Yeah. But it's really cool. Like, as tiny as that controller is, I think about playing a cell phone game with it sounds pretty okay.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like the size controller you'd want to have for something like that. So, it's neat because it's Nintendo being a little more open, whether it was planned or not planned. Yeah. A lot of people having issues with those desyncing Joy-Con.
This guy right here, my left Joy-Con, but I'll tell you, is wild.
I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a widespread problem.
Yeah, it seems to,
according to Nintendo.
Yeah, it seems to be like just a couple of the launch consoles here and there.
What about wasn't there a pixelation issue too?
Not a widespread pixelation issue.
I haven't seen the pixelation issue. I haven't even seen a report of that.
Yeah, it's an issue, but not a widespread
Isn't
one.
that how the whole thing came out, where basically you have to build a shed all by itself to put your Switch in because it can't be around wires or aquariums or walls or metal or drywall? Or...
Well, the problem with the controllers can be fixed with an antenna mod. You can just open the controller up and add some wire to the antenna to extend that, and you
that's what I want to do to my brand new controller that I just spent $300 on.
Yeah, it voids the warranty on the entire console, but you can fix it. So there is that. And while we're talking about the Joy-Con, our buddy Thomas Barfield wrote in and said, "What's your craziest death for?" He says BOTH, which I'm gonna assume he meant BOTW, right? But I don't know what the H is for. I'm gonna assume he meant Breath of the Wild, though.
Okay.
Mine is directly related to this problem of the left Joy-Con desyncing. There's a shrine that I was playing. That you're up on these platforms. It's like a 1,000,000-foot drop if you fall.
Is that the one you were bitching about the other day?
No, that's
a different shrine.
No, that's a different shrine. The one I posted about on Twitter. That's just a problem with game design. That has nothing to do with the controllers. But anyway, I'm up on this platform, and I start to run over to a switch, and the Joy-Con desyncs, and Link just takes a header off the edge of this platform to his death. It was great. And that's probably one of my best ones, right up there with the first time that I used the parasail. I didn't realize that you have to use stamina to sail on it, so I sailed too far over the water, ran out of stamina, fell in the water, and immediately drowned.
Yeah, my worst death is probably I was on the cliff's edge doing something, and one of the warlocks pushed a boulder down on me.
Oh, nice.
And so it hit me, and then it knocked me all the way off, and I fell to my death.
Yeah.
I was like, "You motherfucker!" And I don't really know someone pushed it. It may have just fallen, but I got hit by just a giant boulder that came out of nowhere.
Right.
And I played that game really slow, and I was kind of just standing around, looking around, and it just hit me and knocked me off. And the hit didn't kill me; it was like the fall. And I was like, "Well, shit."
I had a good horse death. So I just got my first horse last night. His name's Spot Butt, because he got a spotty butt. But I didn't. So before you stable them, the first time, so you can capture a horse and you can ride them, but they're still wild. They do what they want to. They're kind of buck wild while you're on the back until you pay 20 rupees to get a saddle and a bridle, and then they're kind of your baby. But I was riding Spot Butt, and you can launch yourself off the horse, and I didn't realize, and so he was kind of like taking a wild turn towards a cliff edge that I didn't want to. I pressed B too soon and jumped right off the edge.
Launched yourself right off.
Yeah,
that.
it was a disaster.
So speaking of there being no widespread problems, you know, the Switch is off to a hot start. It's the fastest selling Nintendo console ever at launch. And so with that, you are getting people complaining about different things, and whether it be the dead pixel or the Joy-Con or not charging properly. I mean, the people are just attacking everything they can. But Nintendo has come out and said there are no widespread problems.
Yeah.
And if you are experiencing issues with any one of these things, then you need to contact, Nintendo support staff.
Yeah.
And they will, I guess, walk you through your options. But it's not something that's affecting all Switches. And it sounds to me like Nintendo is fairly confident in saying that. And
yeah.
I'm fairly confident in that because I don't have the desync issue that you have.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things are going to make it through QA when you've got one of your fastest selling consoles. Like, you're going to have some issues when they get out there. It's just shit's going to happen. PS4 had the same problem.
Things with screens have dead pixels.
Yeah, PS4 had problems when it launched. So did the Xbox One. So did the Switch. It happens, but I think
it just happens.
I think people look for it with Nintendo because you're looking for it to fail.
Well, a dead pixel is fine. A desyncing controller is unplayable.
Yeah.
In certain instances, and I think something that affects the gameplay, it is serious, whether it's widespread or not. And I think that's something they really need to get out front and say, hey, we're going to send you new ones,
and put your old ones in a box.
You send your old ones back.
Yeah.
I mean, don't make me send you the whole console and then wait and not be able to play it. Right. Like, make this convenient for people because it's unplayable if it's bad.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that we constantly, all three of us, get on games for having problems that make something unplayable on day one. Nintendo doesn't get a pass just because it's a system.
Agreed.
I agree.
But nothing gets a pass with us. So
I think it's easy for them to fix it by doing, what I just said, though. Like, we're going to send you 2 new controllers.
Yeah.
You'll have them in 2 days. Put the old ones in the box. If you don't, we're going to charge you
$80
whatever
to your eShop account.
No,
yeah.
I don't think they got to be that extreme. I think charge you $40 or whatever. Then people would keep them. Yeah, charge you $80. to your credit card that you had to put on file. But when we get them, we won't charge you anything. We're sorry. We're also going to, when we receive yours, we'll give you a free $5 eShop credit.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect everybody. Like I said, mine are perfect.
Yeah, make it right for the people that it affects. But I hate to say this, Nintendo ain't going to do shit when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think they'll replace them, but I think you'll have to send it in.
And
I think there's a chance you may have to send the entire console
it's
in.
Gonna be, it's going to be a huge convoluted deal.
Yeah, and then because you bought games on the eShop, they're not going to transfer over.
You're going to go 3 weeks without anything.
Right. Save files.
All your save data is on your tablet. Like, there's a lot that they'll probably do wrong with this, but I don't think it's that hard to fix, but I'm sure they won't do it that way. It's not really their thing.
Just sending new controllers would be the way to do it, since any controller will sync to any Switch. But
it'll be interesting. I will say they have done a really good job with. You can be playing with the Joy-Con and then turn and put it to sleep and then wake it up with the Pro controller, and it just knows that I'm Switch controllers.
Yeah,
it turns off the other two, turns that one on. Like, it's just, the system works really well when it works, and it sucks to me that people are having issues because I'm not, and I can tell you it's pretty good when they're not having issues.
I haven't had a frustrating moment with the console where I've gone, fuck, this thing was a bad purchase. I haven't had that yet.
No.
I haven't not picked it up and thought, this thing is worth every dime. It's amazing. Every time I pick it up, it's amazing.
For you to be able to tell a story about dying in Zelda because of the controller, like, that's not fair. It's not okay.
It's not, but that happens when the controllers aren't connected to the tablet. So that only happens, like, the desync only happens if you're about 15 feet away and you're, like, there are conditions that set that up.
But it shouldn't happen.
It's not okay, but there are avoidable situations for that. So it doesn't make my console unplayable, and I play it in, like, tablet handheld mode most of the time anyway. So it doesn't ruin the experience, and I fully expect Nintendo to replace the controllers once they have them fixed. But I don't.
I play a lot in tabletop mode.
Yeah,
that is slowly becoming my favorite way to play.
I just don't look at the console and regret anything about it. There's nothing.
It's not about that. It just, they need to make this right.
Yeah, sure.
You shouldn't have to pop open. I don't buy a brand new car and then change the header so I can drive it.
Yeah.
They have to make this work without you popping it open and changing the antenna, or they got to get this fixed. And whether it's widespread or it's two people, they need to step up here and say, hey, we're going to make this right.
I agree. I just don't want it to seem like we're slamming the console, because of all console launches for Nintendo in the past decade, this is easily the best one. And of all consoles in the past decade, this is easily the best one.
I would say, though, of the problems that systems launch with, this is one of the most impacting. I don't remember PS4 or Xbox One launching with anything this significant.
Right, but I remember the Wii U launching and people bricking it because of the 9 million gigabyte update that it had to do, and the power would go out on it.
If it didn't do that update, it fucked it up.
Right, and if it somehow powered down or went to sleep in the middle of that update, it fucked it up. And that, like,
luckily my shit didn't go to sleep.
Right, but I mean, like, that was an issue with the Wii U launch, and the Wii had a problem with fucking something, I'm sure, with the AV cables at the back of it fucking up. Like, there were issues with their like, this is not the worst thing to happen. PS4 had the problem with freezing up and the fan like at launch. It was not widespread, but there were issues with the fans and the system being able to go to sleep and shut down on the launch console. So it happens.
It to me, with a Nintendo who prides themselves on not having issues and not having day one patches, and like, you should know that some of the controllers don't work. You should have known.
Or once you get the report, you should immediately have a fix. You should offer something to the people who spend money on the console. I agree with that.
Your answer shouldn't be, it's not a widespread problem, so call customer service. Right. It's like, well, fuck you. Like, it shouldn't happen to me at all.
The answer shouldn't be, well, you have to put it inside of a Faraday cage, for God's sake, or it's not going to work.
Right,
like, you really shouldn't be that.
I don't like that, and I think that their approach is sloppy. So when I bought my first PSP way back in the day, I had a dead pixel.
Yeah.
Contacted Sony. They said, take it back to wherever you bought it, get another one. No big deal. So I did that, and it wasn't a problem. When I bought my Wii U, they just fucking quit working after a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
You don't have options after a month,
Yeah.
You're just fucked at that point. So there are things that happen, and when you call Nintendo, they tell you, like, You can send it to us. We'll look at it. We'll see if it's your fault. Then you're fucked. If it's not, then maybe we'll replace it with a refurbished one. It's like I shouldn't have to have a refurbished.
Right, you get a brand new one. Your thing doesn't work.
Mine worked fine until your shit stopped working.
Yeah,
and it wasn't my fault because it fucking worked 1 minute and it just never would turn on again.
I didn't buy a refurbished one. Why would I want one now?
I bought a new power supply. That didn't make any difference. Like the thing just fucking quit working one day. And there are some things I think that are unexcusable, and I think that the controllers have to fucking work. I can't play without controllers.
Yeah. Customer support and taking care of the consumer, I think, is the big issue there.
Yeah, so when it doesn't work, you say, hey, we'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
No big deal.
We just made $1 billion selling these things. We'll take care of it.
I bought something from ThinkGeek a long time ago, and I may have told this story on the podcast before, but they sent me the wrong thing. And I called, and I'm like, you fuckfaces sent me the wrong thing.
They're like, keep it. Here's the right thing.
Yeah, they're like, we'll overnight it to you. If you want to send it back, great. If you don't, that's okay too. That's our fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, cool, you guys are awesome. Like, there are ways to make it right when you make mistakes.
Anymore.
Yeah. I take back the fuckface comment. Thanks, friends. Like, there are ways to do it right, and I just want to see them be a little more proactive about, whoops, these do have issues. Let's get you some new things.
Yeah.
Like, let's, all the rock band fucking foot pedals fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, all of them. So I call EA, and they're like, oh, shit, let me transfer you 9,000 times to finally get you someone who speaks English.
Mm-hmm. And
they'll overnight you one. It was a pain, but I still got it really quick. I didn't have to send anything back. I didn't have to jump through hoops once I got the right person. Just I hope Nintendo's making it easy for the people who are trying to get these replaced. And Matt, maybe if you reach out and you can tell the story on how it goes.
Yeah. Do a little research for the show, some investigative reporting.
Yeah, some real fucking journalism.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me. I would just call him and tell him everything's working fine.
I'm going to dial up Reggie because he's on speed dial. I'm going to be like, listen, Fizame, because that's what I call him. I call him by his last name.
Yeah.
Reg, I'm going to need you to fix this. I'm going to need your personal Joy-Con. Send him over.
Yeah. He's probably got some gold-plated ones. He's making all that fucking money.
God damn, I bet he does.
Yeah. How long until... Because it's going to happen, but how long until like the Mario Joy-Con and the
I don't care.
Toad and the Princess and the Bowser they're coming.
The fact that you can buy 2 blue ones for $80 excites me. So I know they're going to do the personalized and they're going
to do Breath of the Wild ones and they're going to do all that.
And,
that might be about the time I get my Switch.
We did say the thing
Joy-Con situation's fixed.
Yeah. I mean, we did say what they need to do is they need to echo the N64, right? There was the clear purple and the blue and the red. Like there were 900 controllers you could buy at launch. Like they really do need to do that, and I think they're going to. But like I guess by the time that comes, I hope the controllers and the accessories are cheaper because they are overcharging for things. They are like even on games, like games that have been out for a decade, they're trying to charge $60 on. So
we had Matt and I had a moment of panic earlier this week because of all the reports of people fucking their Switches up when they put them in the dock.
Yeah.
So I called Matt. I'm like, dude, I gotta get a screen protector because what if I accidentally fuck mine up? And we both ordered screen protectors, like the tempered glass, but they're not in yet.
So we went out that day and bought some.
So we went out that day and bought different screen protectors because you only get one shot at scratching it all the fuck.
Yeah.
So we bought cheap screen protectors to put on until the good screen protectors get here.
And mine's on good. You can barely tell it.
Oh, yeah. I did a shit job putting mine on.
Mine looks great.
But I feel so much better now. Yeah, I feel relieved.
Just having it there, I feel like I could just slide this thing face down across the floor and be all right.
I would say not to worry about it because it's not a widespread problem.
You're 100% right because there are no widespread problems with a Nintendo Switch, and I want to echo that.
Right.
There are no widespread issues with a Nintendo Switch.
Right now, Reggie or anybody at Nintendo, if you are listening, one thing you guys do need to do is on the dock, you need to put a piece of felt on the screen side. Not because it's scratching, but just to, peace of mind. Like, put some felt there.
Peace of mind.
Put some micro suede or whatever.
What I've decided to do is when the good screen protector gets here, no offense, PDP, but when the good one gets here, I'm going to take the old one off and I'm going to stick it on the inside of my dock so it's smooth over there.
Yeah.
just so that whatever might... I don't understand what scratches, because when I feel it, I don't feel that there's anything in there.
Yeah, it's smooth plastic. I don't feel anything.
When you shine a light, I don't see anything in there.
Yeah, I think what's happening with people who are putting their thing inside and outside of the dock and get scratches on the screen, I think these are just dirty people that have like rocks and shit on their screen, grains of salt because they're eating potato chips while they're playing it, and when they slide it into the dock, it's raking across the screen and fucking it up.
Nobody has rocks on their screen.
The trick is, don't be a dirty piece of shit and wash your hands before you touch your console.
Nobody has rocks on their screen. No one has rocks on their screen.
Little piece of sand and dirt, salt, little sugar, because they can't stop eating candy all the time.
That's Matt's.
Yeah, he sounds like Nintendo right now. You guys playing on the beach or what's up?
Right. Are you enjoying your console in whatever way you want to? Because you fucking bought it. Well, stop.
Quit pouring salt on it. It won't be a problem.
Right. We didn't intend for you to play your console anywhere. We didn't intend you to play it with salty potato chip fingers.
Yeah, I always sprinkle some rock salt on mine when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
And slide it directly into the dock after I do. So I can now because I got the screen protector.
That's
Screen's
right.
protected.
Screen's protected. I scratch it all day if I want to.
Yeah. If you want, you can. I take my keys, just rub across it to remind myself I can.
Right.
Not too hard, though, because we got the cheap ones on there. But there's something about... This is doing like the original Game Boy. Dan, did you ever have a Game Boy?
Yeah.
You were a little older than us, so you probably weren't as dumb, but...
Well,
like the accessories,
the
accessories, like I got fucking like I had every accessory. Like I had the speaker that plugged in the bottom, had the magnifying glass that slid over the top with the light.
Yeah, I remember.
I had the fucking power
glass.
bank that you plugged in to play on the go.
Right.
It was like a big giant dildo. This is doing this. Like I want fucking accessories for the Switch.
Yeah. Every time we go out somewhere, I go by the Switch section and look
To
at
see what's new?
what I should buy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm ready to get like a fucking magnifying glass that slides over it, and like the dumb shit. There's something about this system that's like very like youthful and nostalgic, and like I want to get things for
Like-
it.
Power Glove.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
just stuff.
It really is. Like, so I
I'm
bought.
so bad.
Here's my big bad power bank, right? Like this, I bought this monster. And I
Got you.
bought like an extra USB-C cable, and I bought screen protectors, and I got a case, and I got this and that and the other. I feel like a little kid that's like, man, I want everything for this.
Like I bought the screen protector, came with the extra cases because I wanted more cases.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of system.
Yeah,
and I think that's okay. It doesn't feel gross.
yeah. It's not a dick measuring contest of like I gotta buy it all, but it's like I want I want my Switch to be mine. I want my things.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what you buy for yours,
Yeah.
and then I want to show you what I bought for mine. Like it has that thing going for it. Like I think it's because it's portable. Like you kind of want to make it yours. You know, like I love that I have the red and blue one. Matt has no desire to have the red and blue one. Like that's what's so good about the Switch, and they have a real opportunity if they take advantage of it. Like if they start selling Midnight Purple Joy-Con, I'm gonna need to figure out something.
Right.
Like I'm gonna need to get some.
Right.
Might have to get one if they come out with Midnight Purple.
Right. So like there are things that they can do with this that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't ever want another set, but I'm gonna have to get a set.
As soon as they make Joy-Con with like backlit buttons that glow blue, buy them. $150 a pop.
Yeah.
Buy them. Like,
some Elite Joy-Con.
yeah, dude. Like as soon as they like.
Joy-Con Elite.
Like I love the differences in like the necessity for the case. Like you bought a case that packs the whole system.
Everything.
And mine's like I love playing it handheld so much. Mine only carries it as handheld, but they carry like the same amount of fucking games, and like it just there's something about like when we had that conversation of like I need my case to fit in a backpack, and you're like I need mine to be a goddamn briefcase. Like that's fun.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's fun.
As soon as we when we end this podcast, I'm gonna run and grab it real quick and show you guys how I've got this fucking case packed already.
I can't wait.
And it doesn't even have the dock in it, and I've got this fucker just overflowing with stuff.
I can't wait.
So yesterday I printed a little thing that holds the 2 shoulder grips on my 3D printer just because it's fucking cool. Like you don't need it. There's no reason for it other than it keeps them together so that if you lose them, you've lost them both now. But like I printed it and it came out and it wasn't great, but it was good enough, and I slid them on and I was like, this is fucking cool.
Right.
Like it's stupid. I printed it in red so it matched all my cases that hold my games. Like everything about it's dumb.
And I immediately want one.
And then Matt's like kind of trying to get one.
Right. I'm like, hey, can I pay you for one of those?
But that's what I think the system does. Like I don't go print shit for my PS4.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of system. It's like a big boy system. This is kind of like a makes me feel like a kid again system.
Yeah. Like the games are big boy games, but the
system just makes me feel like not like a child, but like youthful.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way that PS4 and Xbox One don't. They make me feel like I need to. PS4 makes me feel like, hey, I need a pair of Astros. I need a big fucking 4K TV. Like, I need to spend money and be like technologically, like, I want everything to be the best for this. The Switch is like, man, I kind of want to like draw on it with white Sharpie on the back so that like
it's
like
yours.
the way that you draw on a notebook in school. Yeah, like you get that feeling. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to. Don't let me customize the wallpaper. Let me customize the console. It has that vibe.
Yeah, it's cool. And if you draw on it, make sure you put a picture on.
I'm not gonna draw on it.
At game underscore
right.
Stitch.
It was just
underscore.
It was just an example. I'll never touch it with anything other than my clean hands. Might even get some white gloves to go in the case and only put those.
I thought about putting latex on the plate.
Yeah, the blue latex gloves without the powder.
I'll wear the black ones because I'm a mechanic.
All right, or a tattoo artist.
Yeah, either one. I'm something edgy for sure.
Right.
So, I mean, you could pretty much put a blindfold on, walk into a store that sells video games, and just grab one from the new release section and be totally satisfied. So, be excited, people that play video games.
Yeah.
It's a good time. That's it. That's all the headlines. That's all the chatter.
It's everything.
That's all the talking about shit that's already out. The excitement for shit that's coming out.
Dan's jangling his keys or something.
It's the dog. Before we close out, we do have a question for the week. Another question. We do. This question comes from Baraxis Games. He says, at Gamestitch, question for next week's show. If you could replace your two co-hosts, who would you choose? I would want Danny O'Dwyer and Tara Long. He did make a note that he loves all three of us together. This is just a hypothetical situation. Who would we choose as our other two co-hosts? So, Matt, go ahead.
Can it be anybody in time?
It can be anybody. It can be any... Not in time, no. That's current. You can't...
Yeah, I'd like them to be alive.
You can't have Jesus Christ on as your fucking co-host.
JC, tell us about that DLC coming out next week.
Ryan, you go. I gotta think about this. I don't have anybody picked.
So I'm gonna go with. So the idea here is you pick somebody in the industry that would make a very good podcast.
I think so. Yes.
Instead, I'm gonna pick Nick Cage and Ryan Gosling.
Gotcha.
To do my video game podcast.
Are gonna draw people, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking massive.
Right. Why Ryan Gosling?
Because he's cute.
He's hot right now.
Okay.
He's hot. I'm talking about getting some people love him. Also, I just want him to say "Hey, girl" all the time, like that meme that floats around. Right. But I almost would call it the Nicolas Cage experience with Ryan and Ryan.
Right.
And I feel like it would be pretty good.
It's going to be all Nick all the time.
I'm going to go a different direction with this. So I'd like to get a big name in there. I'd like to get a draw. So my first draw,
Nick Cage.
Well, not that big. I'd like to have Mike Rowe because I feel like Mike Rowe keeps it personal. You can relate to Mike.
I could just listen to him talk all day.
The second person I like to get is Bob from I Like to Make Stuff because I feel like I don't know. There's just something about Bob that I want to listen to him talk. The podcast would be a disaster based on the three of us, but I really think I really like that idea.
The thing about Bob, for people who've never watched I Like to Make Stuff, is Bob is the Nathan Drake of building things. Like, he's like the everyman. Like, he fucks stuff up all the time, and he's real casual about the way he does things. And it's kind of like someone who's never done it trying to tell you how to do it.
Yeah, and I feel like that makes a good informative podcast.
It's really neat because you feel like you could do it versus watching a professional do something.
Yeah.
So I do like Bob, and I feel like Mike would appreciate Bob.
Right.
Because Mike's like, get out there with your hands and do something.
I feel like Mike would dive into a place in video gaming that maybe nobody's been before. Like, Mike might really take to like getting into playing games in a way that maybe nobody thought of, or playing the game, like the dirty games that nobody wants to, the ones that are a fucking chore, dirty. Right?
His name's Dan.
And I feel like Bob every week is going to tell us how he fucked up a console by opening it up, trying to modify it, and then he really wishes he'd just not done it in the first place, right? Like this week I put some LEDs on my PS4, and then he shows us, we get the video on the channel, and all he did was like tape some down using double-sided tape, and he's got a battery pack off to the side. Like, really, just to me, Bob is the shitty robot girl, but for like everything that's not robots.
Right.
Like,
only he's less annoying. Right. I like Bob a lot.
Today I decided I'm going to put a snorkel on my PlayStation.
But I also think that the insight and the depth that Mike Rowe would bring, that's what Nick Cage is going to do for mine.
Right, except for yours.
That's where
it'll be so incoherent nobody can follow it.
Right.
Halfway through,
he'll say something that you can't follow, and then Ryan Gosling will be like, "Hey, girl,"
right?
And then Nick Cage will start talking again.
You'll have
and I'll chime in with some real news.
A lot of times you'll just hear Cage just fucking does a rail and blasts off onto a tangent.
You're like, "Woo!" Podcast,
right?
You're like, "All right, Nick, calm down." All right, Dan, did you choose somebody from the industry so that this question makes sense?
Mine are fucking normal.
He said Danny O'Dwyer and
no, that's Baraxis.
Oh, yeah.
That was who Baraxis said.
Elliot. Yeah,
that's right.
Mine would be, my first one would be Mr. C, Robert Cargill. He's not only one of the screenwriters for the Doctor Strange movie, he is the co-host of Film School Rejects Junk Food Cinema. He's just got a real cool voice. Him and I would get along we're relatively the same age. We like we have very similar tastes.
This is kind of getting creepy where like we'd be best friends. We go play catch.
Yeah.
I think we do an interesting podcast. I will never play catch with you, Matt. Secondly, I would pick my second co-host would be Ashley Birch. She is the voice actor for Chloe in Life is Strange, and does the voice of Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. Very much a video game voice actor, so she would have those insights to bring. Mm-hmm. So, see, normal fucking answers to
those are no more fucking
a pretty normal fucking question.
No, they're not.
They're no more baddie than anybody else's.
Yeah. Now, I'll give you a real answer. I would like to, if you wanted people from the industry, I would have a podcast with Jeff Gerstmann and Colin Moriarty.
I would take,
and it would be so unbearably negative that you wouldn't be able to listen.
Yeah, if I could take, like, if it's got to be people who podcast, I would definitely take Tim Geddes, and I'd probably just take Tim and Greg from Kind of Funny. I like them. They have a good dynamic. And I think we would make it, because I feel like I fill that Moriarty role enough that.
What do you mean, total dickbag?
Yeah. Well, I
just love Colin.
Just like against
spades, my friend.
Just like against the stream opinions, I'm not as combative, but I feel like.
So you're going with hipster.
Not really, but yeah, I feel like I don't feel like I could jump into that podcast and do a great job like what Kind of Funny does, but I feel like two characters like Greg and Tim with me would make a good show. Like I feel like those three like personalities make a good podcast.
Yeah, I like Dan Reichert, I like Jeff Bakalar, I like Austin Walker. I mean, there are a lot of people that I really like out there doing really good podcasts, and I think any one of them to do a podcast with would be enjoyable. But I like the dynamic that we have. And it would be a different show if it had different hosts. And at the end of the day, working with anybody and getting better is cool. So,
well, my original answer was going to be anybody but Matt and Ryan. But...
Jesus Christ! Right. If it could be anybody in time, it would be Bob Ross. And
I can't even get into this. I can't even have this conversation.
I would love to do a podcast with Bob Ross.
Take us out.
Yeah.
And
it's obviously Bob Ross and Moses. We do like a little Q&A each week. It'd be real good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we're picking anybody in time, clearly Abe Lincoln's on my podcast about video games.
For sure. I got Teddy Roosevelt all day.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Teddy Roosevelt.
I feel like Abe would just go, what? I feel like every now and then he just go, what? Because he's too busy like making the world a better place.
Yeah.
He can't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, like Teddy Roosevelt would be like, you should be out there punching moose.
Right. Go get a real
punch
job, for God's sake.
Episode 217, Punch a Moose.
Right.
You have to listen the entire time to get one line that makes this make sense.
All right.
This has been episode 217, and it's been a production of Gamestitch.com. You like that?
I like that.
Woof.
Good.
Yeah, you
should start adding that to the end of all of them.
Yeah, a little weight to what we just did. You can follow me on Twitter at Podcast Ryan. You can follow Dan at Shirtless Dan. You can follow Matt at Goddammit Matt. If you follow him, you understand why that is his Twitter name. And you can follow all of us at Game_Stitch. Game_Stitch. Make sure you do that. Be sure to rate us on iTunes. It helps out a whole lot. Subscribe to the podcast so you get it early. Sometimes when you don't subscribe, even though we post at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, it takes you a little while to get it. If you subscribe, you'll get it a lot faster.
Yeah.
So make sure that you click that little button to help us out. And remember to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameStitch if you want to, if you care to, if you would like to.
It definitely helps with the extracurriculars. My back catalog playthrough of Gone Home popped up yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about that. So we're one away from completing that goal. A little delay with the holidays hitting and everything and some of the live streams and the giveaways that we did for you guys, but we're still churning those out. So that's 3 of them now. You've got my Firewatch, you've got Dan's, that game he played, and you've got Matt's. Yeah, Never Alone. Something about that game is just so forgettable that I forget what he played.
It's a really good game, but you're right. It's just forgettable.
Yeah. And then you've got Matt's Gone Home playthrough. So
which
check those out.
I did say that I would finish the game and do a quick review of it on this episode. We didn't have time, so I'll let you guys know next week how I liked the ending.
Yeah. It's a little suspense for you. It's a teaser.
It's not as...
Find out what Matt thought about Gone Home next week.
Yeah. Tease.
Tease. That's what they always say after they give a really good cliffhanger. They're like, tease.
Right.
Whenever Seacrest drops a bomb on you about going to commercial. Well, let's find out after the break. You're like, you son of a bitch. You did it to me again. You beautiful bastard.
I'm not, because I never watched that show.
Seacrest is Ryan's hero.
Yeah, I love Ryan Seacrest on like a different level.
Yep.
I'd like to do a podcast with him, but he'd be the fucking center of attention. I wouldn't be able to get a word in.
You wouldn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty soon it'd just be the Ryan Seacrest experience, and I'd be out fucking side watching with everybody else.
Out fucking side,
Is he really still a thing? What does he do now?
Dude, he's everybody. He's everything to everyone.
But he's nothing to me.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Seacrest is a machine.
He's a big part of your life. You just don't know it.
Yeah, he's got his hand in everything you love.
Unlikely.
You listen to the radio? He fucking invented it, dude.
No, I don't, actually.
You know about...
You enjoy New Year's?
Right.
What about the Eve?
No.
He's all about that.
You can't have it without him.
Right.
I don't watch him. I watch the other one.
Have you ever watched anything that comes on E?
Nope.
I feel like it's a lot. You're lying for this podcast.
I don't even have cable. I have Amazon and Netflix.
Owns them both.
You're full of shit.
He probably does. He probably owns a majority share.
He might not own them, but they don't make any moves without calling him first to see what he thinks.
Right.
And I feel confident in saying that. Don't be a dick about Ryan Seacrest.
Fuck that guy.
He is a host of hosts.
Okay.
Like if you want something to be successful and you need a host, you hire that guy because he doesn't half-ass anything.
He lost Juliana Hough.
To move on to a different model.
I'm just saying.
He's young. He's successful.
So she.
He's not ready to settle down. He's busy. He's a
fuck.
I don't know.
Okay, fine. You love the man. You want to suck him off and all that good shit.
I'm just saying there could have been 2 Dunkelman.
That's fine.
Is what I'm saying.
There could have been what?
If he didn't do something right, there could have been 2 Dunkelman.
Oh.
If he didn't do something right. But instead, there's a Seacrest and a Dunkelman. Dunkelman's probably working at Arby's right now.
Probably. I don't care.
Seacrest's printing money.
I like Arby's.
Printing money.
I actually like Arby's more than I like anything fucking Ryan Seacrest does, so.
He owns Arby's. Fun fact for you.
Fuck you. You ever had make shit up and just to protect
Have you ever had their turkey gyros?
Whose? Arby's?
Yeah.
No.
I really, really like them. They're super good.
Really?
You should try one sometime. You should call them gyros because everybody else does.
That's not what they're called, though.
Everybody else calls them that. Every time I go to the Greek place, everybody's like, can I get one of them gyros?
That sounds right.
The guy behind the counter's eye twitches.
Right.
But he doesn't correct them because why would he?
Or because he's about to charge you $8 for everybody that came in line every day, all day.
Yeah, I went just the other day, and the 2 people in front of me both ordered gyros.
Euros.
No, gyros. According to everybody that lives here. And
Euros.
Heroes.
Like his left eye you could see it twitch like he couldn't help it. But he didn't correct him because there's no point.
Is this still part of the show? I got to give the audience a story.
It is, but make it quick because we're running long.
All right, I had to leave for the last 30 seconds to pee because I've been holding it the entire show, and it hurt so bad I actually peed my pants a little bit.
And he still got those pee pants on?
I still got those pee pants on right now. I had to change.
If it wasn't called Punch a Moose, it'd be called pee pants.
Right, call it pee pants. I hope everybody listens to the end of the show long enough to get that. If you get it, give me a hashtag pee pants on Twitter.
It might be called pee pants and punching a moose.
Right.
That's
my hands smell like
pee. That seems real long.
Need a shower.
All right, this has been episode 217 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Thanks for listening. Make sure you tell your friends, family, and coworkers about it.
Thanks, everybody.
In that order.
And enemies.
In that order.
Yeah.
Friends, families, coworkers.
Because the enemy of my friend is my friend.
Let's get
bingo.
Yeah, sure.
Good night.
Good night.